By the way, this build was inspired by a few yurts that I saw on Pinterest, and you'll see a lot of the... Hey guys, it's SIMTROVERT, your favorite introvert here who loves to play The Sims, and today I have another exciting build for you guys. I am building a yurt, kind of a sort of a double yurt, as I've got the main yurt as well as a bathroom yurt with a hallway in the middle that I've converted into a grow room. If you don't know what a yurt is, first off, a yurt is a type of tiny house. It's usually in a circular type, it's circular. Gosh, okay, yeah, it's usually a circular structure, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, with a generally sort of a pointed type roof, so I went with the circle roof later on in this build. Right now it is sort of the octagonal roof, but yeah, as you see here, I've later turned it into the circular roof. So yeah, let's just get into this really fun, free-spirited build. I sort of mapped it after, I don't know, I gave it a hippie vibe, sort of a free spirit, sort of a that kind of a build. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First off, I will say this build took actually a little bit of time. I think it took me about 4 hours, I think it is. It was about 4 hours in total. That was to build it, as well as to furnish it and to add all the outdoor stuff. I do add a lot of outdoor elements just really to maximize the space because, like I said, it's a type of tiny house, which, you know, with it being such a small house, I really like to add as much outdoor living and activities as I possibly can in these builds. So yeah, I definitely added a lot of those elements outside, including this little front yard type canopy, not a canopy, I do have a canopy structure in the backyard, but I kind of have this front yard little garden-esque area. And I don't include it in this video, however, you'll see it in the screenshots that I include this really cute sort of garden-y area in the front yard, as well as a floral type fountain area. Yeah, so this build was a little tricky. I wouldn't say tricky. It was tricky just getting the proper roofing structure on top, and sizing it up as far as I don't know, enlarging it, because you know it's in an octagonal shape, so I tried to expand it as much as possible and kind of get as much room as I possibly can in here. I really like the way this turned out. I've been wanting to do kind of a circular type builds for a really long time, and I figured, why not do a yurt? I'm a huge fan of tiny houses. I would definitely love to experience living in one day, whether it be my own or a rental or something like that, but I definitely want to live in one day, and I would not mind a yurt. Yurts are they're just structurally interesting. I mean, they're rounded and I don't know, they're really interesting to me, really interesting type structures. So yeah, I think I could really see myself living in one. So yeah, this is the second yurt structure I added to kind of enlarge the space. But instead I was going to do an outhouse type structure for the bathroom, but I changed my mind later and I decided to sort of go for, I don't know, a second structure. I've often seen in like I've often seen in some shows or some examples that people do in like an off-site sort of, I wouldn't say off-site, but like it's a detached yurt that would serve as the bathroom or the recreational space. I decided to sort of do the same thing, but connect it instead of distancing it off to the side or whatnot. So yeah, so I decided to keep it. The bathroom I wind up redoing and redoing and redoing again. About 3 times I think I changed it up in the design. I kind of stick with this really cool design. I take a page from the first way I did it in the first, in the main house. I separate it with the wall, so I decided to do the same thing here. And I actually really like the way it turns out. It kind of mirrors the main room, which I like. I don't know, it flows. It's kind of, it works. I don't know. It flows. I'm just gonna use that word for lack of the phrase I'm trying to say here. It's fluid. So, but yeah, with the living room, it's not the biggest living room, but I kind of use a lot. I kind of add the office in there as well as the living space in this corner, and I think I honestly just wanted something rustic and carefree. That was my whole vibe of decorating in here. I just really wanted to use all the laundry pack stuff, all the movie hangout stuff, all the what else did I use? I used a few things from the other packs, but it was pretty much just that. I used a few city living items. Not so much CC in this build as I normally do. I always do a crap load of CC. Actually, you know what? It was a lot of CC, but it was primarily the CC I used in here was primarily plants. Not because I don't like using the Sims 4 plants, because I love all Sims 4 items. I generally, love their items. I'm not one of those, people that are like, well, I prefer my own CC. I do like my own CC, but it wasn't because I didn't want to use the Sims 4 plants. It's just the plants that I have acquired over CC shopping for a really long time, I've really grown to love. And as far as decorating and adding all those plants, I wanted to use those, so I have a crap load of CC plants, a crap load of plants in general, because I kind of wanted this build to be for your average hippie, free-spirited / I don't know, one with the trees and nature type sim. I definitely put I'm gonna use hippie for lack of a better word, a very free-spirited sim in this build. But yeah, I added a lot of plants and stuff, and a lot of places where the sim could plant and grow their own stuff. I wanted the sim that lives in here to kind of be able to grow their own food, grow their own plants and flowers and stuff like that. So yeah, I do add an orchard later in the backyard, like a banana tree and, well, like a couple banana trees and a couple apple trees. I think later I'll add more fruits and veggies in here, like pomegranates and things like that. But for now, I have the basics, and like I have a few, like around the house, I have a few herbs and vegetables and a couple fruits and a couple flowers, and yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, so I do have a few more CC pieces, I should say, besides the plants. Like here I have this desk that I got out of CC a while back, and that fireplace is also custom content, and the chair there. And I think I have some more pieces in the bedroom. I think I used the clothing rack and a few clothing rack hang-ups and shirts and stuff that are all custom content. So yeah, but overall I think I think the build itself should be downloadable without the excess of CC. So that would so that's cool for you non-CC users or people who do not know where I got my stuff from, because I cannot tell you a lot of the CC that I use because it's kind of old. But yeah, so so yeah, oh yeah, these two tables here are also custom content, which I am in love with them both. I really like the coffee table I decided to use. It was actually really a side table, an end table, but I decided to use it for a coffee table in this particular build because the living room is not that large. But yeah, I really like the way it turned out anyway. So but yeah, these are all the plants I'm using in here. I put a lot. Oh, what was tricky about this build? Okay, yes. What was tricky about this build was adding plants in the window. You'll see later. In the window, in the bay window, they call it. There was the brown window with the hash mark type. I'm not really sure what you call those, but the the cross hatching at the bottom. In those windows, I tried to add put items in to the window so it looks more realistic. I don't know. It just, if you had a window like that, you wouldn't just leave it plain and blank. I assume you would like store things on it or use it as a sill and actually put stuff in it, so I totally cheat and use the, you know, the 0 and the 9 and stuff like that. Cheat to add stuff within each window. So yeah, I do that in the living room and in the bedroom area. So yeah, just to, I don't know, add that element of, you know, lived in. I really like to make all my builds look like, you know, you would live in them, or like make it look like the sim actually inhabits the place. But yeah, you'll see that in the room later. It's very full, very, you know, lived in, if you will. But yeah, as you can see, I'm really loving to use these rugs by the Laundry Day pack as of late. I think I've been creating a lot of these builds where these just, they work for the area. I don't know, they work with the style of build I'm doing. I use them a lot in the last build, the Granite Falls build, and I'm using them a lot in this build too, because they have that look of rustic, free-spirited outdoor type, I don't know, that type of that type of vibe. So yeah, here is where I was talking about earlier. I tried to add in a lot of items in the windowsill. I just thought it looked more lived in and realistic, and so I add in a lot of plants and candles and the flower pots that later these flower pots I wind up not using for gardening or whatnot. Like it just made it hard. I tested these out to see if my sim would be able to plant in them, and no, she was not able to place any actual real plants in them, so I just decided to add plants within them later. Even, you know, oh, it's not in this video, but I do add the plants in there later, so it actually works out. However, there in the grow room, the hallway there, but later becomes a grow room. In the grow room, she can plant. I do add a lot of areas for her to plant inside as well as outside, so it really doesn't hinder any of the growing aspects, or I don't know, planter aspects of the build. So yes, here I am adding lighting, as I have gotten more in the habit of doing, as I told you before in previous builds. I do often forget to add my lighting until like the last minute, and I don't know why I do that. I just always forget, because I'm always building in the daytime, and then I have to remind myself, okay, well at night they're gonna need some type of lighting. So I have gotten into the habit of going back and changing that up from time to time. Here I'm adding a little bit of an element for the I was gonna call this the entryway. That's not really the entryway. This whole, I mean, the house is tiny, so the whole thing is pretty much an entryway, but this is the entry into the grow room, and I added a bit of a shelving unit there just to take up the space. Here I am laying out the furniture for the bedroom, and I wound up going for these rustic handle tables. I was just kind of going for I'm going to use the word hippie. I was kind of going for a hippie vibe, a carefree, free-spirited type sim, and so I kind of went with a lot of these pieces, a lot of candles, as many candles as I could possibly use in a build, as many plants as I could possibly use in a build, and yeah, just really went wild with all the crazy decorations. I wouldn't say crazy decorations, but I don't know, all the fun I'm going to call them fun decorations. Because I did do a lot of these types, and you'll notice in the backyard I do really get fun with a lot of the decor. I go for a lot of the wild colors that I would normally not go for, like in this plush here. It isn't really my style to go for that pink. Even though it's kind of toned down, it's just a wild color that I don't normally go for in my builds, because I don't like wild colors. As you guys know, I love neutrals. The brown wasn't too much in here, because even though I like my black, whites, and grays, I do appreciate my tans and browns, so this was actually a pretty okay color change for me. So yes, washer dryer. Yes, I was going to add a specific place for the washer and dryer and laundry area, but I figured this is a free-spirited sim. They probably wash outside, so I figured why not use the clothesline and wash basin that they gave us in the laundry pack, and I'm going to make them that free-spirited sim that actually hand washes their clothes. And, you know, they're that sim that tries to leave the smallest footprint on the world as they possibly can, and so I figure saving electricity and things like that, I don't know, I feel like that's their type of vibe. And yeah, so I sort of gave the sim a backstory before I even started creating the sim or the family that I'm going to move into the yurt. I already got this whole like backdrop. I'm like, okay, so this is kind of the sim they are. This is the kind of person, you know, that they aspire to be. Very eco-friendly and just all around fun people. So yeah, I haven't decided if I'm moving a couple in here, or if I'm moving someone by themselves, or if I'm doing a whole family. This isn't really a family build because there's like one bed, but I don't know. It could turn into a family build, I think, with some maneuvering and some changing around. I think you can fit a whole family in here. I definitely kind of want to build another yurt after doing this build, though. I'm like, I kind of want to do a yurt part 2, and I probably will do that in a future build. I'm gonna wait a while, probably in the next 4 vids or so before I add another yurt, but I definitely think I can see myself redoing this one. I really like the way the yurt turned out, and I actually can't believe this is my first circular build, as long as I've been building in The Sims 4, and this is my first build that I'm doing in a circular type fashion. It's actually kind of crazy because I feel like I would have totally done this already. It's just something I've wanted to do, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna build a yurt. I want to build a yurt today, so I did, and I filmed it so you guys get to see. So yeah, cool. But yeah, this is primarily my favorite part of the yurt, I think. I can't say I have a favorite part. I really love the whole yurt. Besides the outside, I guess this would be my favorite part of the yurt, the bedroom. I really tried to add as much character and charm and just lived-in look as I possibly could in it, and I think I achieved that pretty okay. Yeah, here I am adding all those little CC things that make the yurt just gorgeous. There was one, yeah. There was one mirror in here that I was going to add, and I noticed a lot of like at least 2 of my items in my CC were like expired, or like the script wouldn't work, which was annoying, but whatever. It just means I need to go CC shopping soon, which I cannot wait to take you guys with me on. As I said I would do before, a CC shopping video I think is totally that's coming soon, so that's going to be fun. It's needed. So here is where I start on my grow room, which I think that's the right terminology for it, a grow room. But yeah, I start adding sort of these shelving units in them. I really wanted this room to be like a specific like a botanist's dream, you know, like for that person that really loves to plant and loves to be around plants. I just made this whole area that type of growing garden, indoor oasis. And yeah, every plant I put on here is custom content, so sorry to those who are really looking forward to having this whole look and setup. Yes, every plant I put up here is custom content. I think except one of them. The one at the bottom I think is not custom content on the floor. And yeah, I think those are the only one. That's like the only one that's on there that's not custom content. I use so much custom content in here. I know I said in the beginning I didn't use that much custom content. Technically, since this whole house is loaded with plants, I used a lot. So yeah, and then that poof over there is custom content. So yeah, so technically I did use custom content. Okay, water break. Anyway, yeah, so here I am adding the stairs and the railings and such. I decided later to turn that railing around because I feel like walking right into the pool is a little awkward. Yeah, I was gonna change up the whole layout earlier. Initially, I wanted you to be able to walk out right into the pool, but I later changed that up a bit. I was like, well, I mean, do I want them to jump right into the pool? This is their second exit of the house. I don't want them to have to walk all the way around to reach everything else that's outside, which later I go kind of wild outside, a little bit crazy, but I think it's perfect for the type of sim that I'm trying to move in here, so it works out. It works out okay. I'm really loving this glistening pool type, what is it, the glistening pool filter? I'm gonna call it a filter, because for lack of a better word, I don't really know what it's called, but the pool filter color, whatnot, okay. Anyway, yeah, and my landscaping, as I've said, is A1 as of late. I've just lately been doing really, really good on my landscaping, and I'm just really proud. And yeah, just really proud of how I've been doing as far as that. This took a lot of patience. I don't usually use painting tools on, I can't say I don't usually do it. I do it, but I don't do it in such a large amount. And I think in this build, I do a lot of it. Add a lot of painter tool in this build. And honestly, I think I need the practice. So just anything that I don't do a lot of, I really like to challenge myself from time to time and do a lot of. So yeah, it was really fun doing a lot of the painter tool that I don't usually do. Yeah, I add a crap load of plants again. I wanted this to be the planter sim, and so I added kind of as many plants as I possibly could in here. I loaded this whole thing up. This was really fun to do, so yes, this is me adding a whole front yard jungle, pretty much. Plants, I use them all around the house, and those purple flowers, and of course those ones that I used to line everything. It's like they're low ground plants, and you know the ones that grow. I don't know. I'm not sure what to even call them, but it's those plants. They kind of just, you use them to wrap around a bigger plant, pretty much, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But yeah, there's about 2 trees, I think, in this whole build, if I can remember. 2 in total. I don't add that many, because the front yard was just gorgeous. And when it's that pretty, I just generally don't like to cover up any of it with a big tree. So, you know, this area, I was pretty much focused on, at first I was going to do a carefree kind of study space, but I decided to just have this area where, I don't know, the sim can go with their friends and whatnot, and just be carefree, and just, it's an area where you can sit, read a book, paint, I don't know, do what hippie sims do. So that's basically what I was doing in here, just adding that whole chill out, hang out vibe, you know, grab your popcorn and chill out. I think the only thing I added in here that I didn't put in the video was a popcorn maker. I don't know why, I just really wanted something like that there. But yeah, I put a tiny little table in here, and I put a popcorn maker on top so that they can have popcorn while they're out there. But I did add a lot of CC, a lot of open books and painter's tools, and just stacked up books. I wanted the vibe like they're reading, and the guitar like they're playing music, and they're just really enjoying their time out there. Like a picnicky vibe, but also, you know, chill and laid back. A little solitaire game there. And I think I add like a picnic basket, and I think some tea, and some cookies and stuff. So I add those little fun elements in there to make it look like, you know, a really cool chill hangout spot. This is probably definitely where you'll find me at a location like this, where the snacks and books are. So yes, I really love this tree here. I feel like it speaks to the whole free-spirited vibe with the lanterns and the just, I don't know, it's got that vibe. It looks really cool, I think, for this build. This area is where I have the most fun, I think. I basically built this structure, this canopy type structure out of just curtains. And yeah, I'm sure up close you can see all the that I have a few flaws in the way it was structured together. But I'm actually really proud of the way I decided to put it together, or, you know, I used the wall to sort of keep the structure up and add the curtains and stuff, but I think it turned out actually pretty neat. So I'm actually excited about how it turned out. Did a lot of you know, moving around and changing of a lot of these structures. My landscaping game, again, is A1 in this. I really love the way I did what I did with all the plants. And this is the wraparound bush I was talking about earlier. I literally couldn't think of the name of it, but since I'm on it, that wraparound bush. And yeah, so I added a few of those elements right here. There's a wraparound bush. Okay. Yes. So yeah, and this is where I do a little bit more painting. Little bit. I want it to add some more elements of paint in here. And in that corner, it feels so blank. I have no head in that back. I think I later add what did I add there? I think I added a well. I put a well over there because I felt like it was just blank. And yeah, I don't know. It felt like something needed to be there, so I added that later. In that corner over there, that corner where I'm adding the plants right there, I add a little orchard. I added like 6 trees, I think. It's 3 apples and 3 bananas. I think those are your starter off fruits until you start like splicing and stuff like that, which I have not started yet because I just built those. But when I do get a sim in, I'm going to have her start doing a lot of that stuff. I did move a sim in. That's how I was able to actually add the bananas and apples and stuff like that. But when I start getting her into the plant life, then we can splice and do really cool plants and fruits and stuff like that. So but yeah, add a little bar out here. This one looked pretty hippie, I think, with all the lights and stuff. This is the well I was talking about earlier that I added in because I felt like I needed something there, so I added a little well. This was really fun to decorate with all the plants because it was just so pretty out here. I love my landscaping out here. Like, I can see myself really hanging out here. I can see myself vibing out here all day. It was just really pretty. I do add some more plants out there, of course. This whole build is about plants. I add some more plants around the pool area, and I think I add some more plants, a few stand-up plants around the structure that I'm about to build. It's this really cute canopy, which I think I start building right about now. I move everything because I'm like, at first I was like, this pavement's really, really nice. I really like this whole look. I was just trying to get rid of those edges. And then I thought, nope, scrap that whole idea. And I was thinking that I'd add sort of a decking. Changed my mind immediately because decking would make the foundation really, really high, and I didn't want this whole area to have like a foundation area. I wanted it to be like all flat land, same level as the hangout spot by the tree, and the same level as the pool area. So I just scrapped that whole scenario, and yeah. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm adding the curtains here. I added these fun curtains. And initially, I don't know, the neutral police in my head was saying, turn these to white. So I start off by turning them to white. And I go back on it and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. We're going to keep those wild colors. These people are supposed to be wild. So here you can see me trying to change the color. And then I go, nope, you know what? I'm going to keep that color. I'm going to keep that color and I'm going to make a wild type thing. Later I realized I really should have added, or I want to add, this is after the build, but I went back in and I added those, what do you call those? Those, like you have this stick structures or whatnot that I have there, the brown wooden poles, but I didn't add I don't know what you call it, the trellis, the thing that goes in between those poles on the front of a house or something. I'm not really sure. For lack of a better word, I'm going to call it a trellis. That is totally not the word. But I later add that in there when I go back to refinish, because I do go back to a lot of these builds and I go, oh, okay, that should have been that way, or that should have been that way. I'm a borderline perfectionist. I wouldn't say I'm that much of a perfectionist, because a lot of stuff I can live with, but I'm like, I don't know, I always find myself going back and correcting something. I'm like, oh, well, I could have done different on that, or different on that, and yeah, I change it up a bit. So here I am adding a little bit of garnishing on the pool area. I felt like I needed a little more something, so I added some huge rocks and, I don't know, those waterside plants? Cattails, I think they're called. I don't know. Yeah, I had some cattails and a couple of, I think delphiniums, and no, those aren't delphiniums. I don't remember what those are called. I put some delphiniums by the well over there, but these are called something else. Anyway, but I added a couple of those and a few deserty plants, and you know, kind of to spruce it up. I wanted it to kind of feel like a little bit of a lake, but also not a lake. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know. They're free spirited. I wanted that outdoor vibe. I wanted them to just come right onto a backyard that just speaks to their nature and, I don't know, their naturistic type vibes. So that is what I did in this build as much as I could. Yeah, just sort of gave it that hippie outdoor vibe, if that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, but I did a few of these, like, I don't know, a lot of these outdoor plant type, you know, fix-ups and stuff. And here is where I added, to the left side, I guess you could say, or the right side of the build, whichever. I'm on the right side right now, adding those plants. So on the left side of the build, I add a canopy layer, another canopy type thing. It's really just string lights strung about. And I add that later, and yeah, you don't see it in the video, but I do have it in the screenshot so you can see how it kind of turned out, which it turned out really cool in my opinion. I just sort of open out that whole walk space. It just felt like open area, and I felt like adding that in there. And yeah, so I did. Oh wait, so I do add it in there. I do. Okay. So this is where I add the walk space. I didn't know I added it in this video. Anyway, I do add the open walk space here. What I didn't add, that's what it was. What I didn't add was the string lighting until later. I think I framed this whole thing out, but I don't add in, I didn't add in the lights that I add in later, until later, after I revisit this build and I go, okay, well, I need something else there. But yeah, this is the floral, I'm not really sure what this item is called, but it's like a floral type circular situation. Okay, anyway, but I wind up adding that in later, and I add a cute little fishy in the middle. So I totally think the screenshots are coming up very soon. So I'm gonna thank you guys for watching this far, or watching in general. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and do all those really cool fun YouTube things. And don't forget to look for this build on my origin at SIMTROVERT44, and I really hope you guys enjoy this build. And yeah, let me know down in the comments if you guys would live in this build, live in a yurt and a tiny house, or whatever like that in general. And I will see you guys in my next video, so bye. When can we get together again?